Hello everyone, welcome back to Diecast Collector channel. In this video, I'd like to show you 124 scale from Bburago, and this is all the 124 scales I have. They are not expensive at all. They are only about £20 each, and this is basically where I started my car collection. Actually, I started from 124. One day I was looking for little car toys for my son in a corner shop, and I bumped into this Ferrari, and then I bought it and I looked at it and I thought, oh, this is not bad, this is diecast. And as you know, I'm obsessed with anything to do with diecast, so I realized straight away, and I was starting to fall in love with this model. I know that it's only 124 scale. It doesn't have any other features. You know, any of the doors doesn't actually open. The only part open is the engine bay, and obviously it's not that perfect either. As you can see, you can have paint problems and everywhere. You can see that it's not really nice. But for a child, for my son, I think this is a perfect model for him to play around with it, and it's not for serious collector item. And so I decided to do research everywhere, talk to all the dealership, all the retailer, ask all the manufacturers directly, or the via in retailer. And so I learned quite a few bits and pieces, and then pick it up from there. And then eventually I start develop into more expensive models, such as the LCDs and all the other cars, and almost real, and so on, auto art, and so on and so forth. So now I have over 21 cars in my possession, and there's some on the way. But in terms of the 124 scale, this is all I have. I'm not gonna collect any more 124 scale. This is mainly for my son. When he get older, he can play with these models, and hopefully he's growing to passion that I have for cars and technologies. So yes, I'd like to show you a little bit about each of these models, and then yes, to give you some ideas what to look out for. So they are all 124 scale, and they are very cheap, so you don't expect any amazing details in there. Don't expect everything to open. For example, none of these actually open. Interior wise, they do have some detail, but it's not really perfect. But the good thing is the Bburago is sponsor or the license it properly from the Ferrari, so they put a lot of efforts into Ferrari models than these Lamborghini and Porsche. I will show you that in a second. So for example, in this model, there is no gap, there is no anything misaligned or anything like that, which is really good. I'm happy with this model. And then this is a FXK based on a LaFerrari, but it's not Evo. If it's an Evo, what you will get is a full spoiler, and you got another some kind of like divider in the middle, and at the front you will get more spike on the bumper to make it look more aggressive and more sporty and more aerodynamic, like my red car in a 118 scale. And this one, what I like about Bburago 124 scales, I know that they are small, but they do put some details into their headlight. You can see that there is some daytime running light and some main beam on there. This is a Ferrari TDF, F12 TDF, I believe, and you can see some light effects in there, which is not bad at all. And this is a it's a SF90 Stradale. I can't pronounce this word, but this one also have nice detail actually. And they all have some rear engine bay, which you can see some detail, and this one doesn't, because this is supposed to be the front engine Ferrari, and this one does. So you have some details in the windows. Interiors wise, the only thing they do open in these models is the doors, and both doors can open. I'm not going to open every single doors here, but I'll show you what it looks like to give you some ideas in a 124 scale. You can see there's some detail. You can see Ferrari logo, some dial and pedals and some buttons, but apart from that, it's very basic. So sorry about the camera shaking. And I'll show you another one. This is the Ferrari TDF F12, and again you can see the interior, very basic. It does some, you know, effects on it, but nothing really impressive. I do like Ferrari, but unfortunately the Ferrari collectible items are very expensive by the BBR. And they do make diecast. BBR have a small selection of Ferrari collection, but they are very expensive. They are like £400, and I'm not willing to spend £400 on the model cars. Is, you know, it's ridiculous. I would say about maximum is £300 for a model car, and £400, that's way too much for me. And also, I'm not sure it's worth it. I would rather spend that money on the Iron Man from the Hot Toys or something like that, or the Transformer for about £300, and you get a really big die-cast skeleton robot that is really huge. Yeah. Anyway, so these are full Ferrari I have. I think they are making some more models in the future from the Ferrari, but now let me talk about these two models and why I said to you that this is not good as Ferrari. Now, you got to be careful when you buy any models that has a black ring. Anything to do with black ring, you cannot see the interior for the brake disc or caliper. So because of that, they cut costs and they try to be cheeky, and they don't actually provide anything on a brake disc or caliper. Now, I can't show you very clearly on the camera, but you can see where the reflection on the white background is. You can see there is no round disc whatsoever. And also you can see the headlight is absolutely nothing here. You can't actually see where the daytime running light is or where the main beam is, signal. You can't see anything basically. It's just hideous. And the good thing is they do open all the doors and the engine as well. That's the only good thing. But apart from that, this SV is very basic. Now, when I got this one has a negative compound on the front wheel, so they are not aligned. So if you push it, the car will go two different directions. It just doesn't stay in a straight line. And I managed to fix that, so this is not too bad. So that's why I'm keeping it for a bit. But somehow in this Ferrari, then negative compound is really noticeable, and you can't see it's not straight whatsoever. You can see. On this side is okay, it's straight. On this side, it's not. And no matter what I do to straighten out, I unscrewed it and still doesn't work at all, which is a shame. In this Porsche, now this one looks okay on the surface, in the box, on the pictures, but when you actually get it and when you look closely, the headlights are not very nice. And also the door has a massive gap, and you can see there is a big gap in the door. This side is even noticeable, and this is a very disappointing actually. Again, they don't put any efforts in the brake disc or caliper, and you can see it's not what you will see this in a Ferrari. Okay, so yeah, so this is disappointing. Otherwise, I would say it's not too bad at all in terms of lightning and some carbon fiber effects on the spoiler and the roof, and shiny gloss exhaust pipe. Yes, so just be careful when you buy these models, and they are licensed by the Porsche and Lamborghini as well. However, the quality that they put into these models is very different from the Ferrari series that they do. So every motor car company is specialized in their own cars, and some are specialized in Porsche, some are specialized in Ferrari, some are specialized in Lamborghini, and so on and so forth. So you need to know which company is good at making which model. and which one they put more attention to details and things like that. So also another thing I was gonna say is as you saw in my previous video about the Maisto 118 scale, I assumed that because they're 118 scales, I thought that it would come with all the brake disc and caliper, but unfortunately that Maisto did not have any of those features, which is a shame, even though it's 118 scale. You can see that in these small 124 scale Ferrari from Bburago, which only cost £20, they do have some efforts into the brake disc and caliper, which is one of the features that I must have in my collection. Otherwise, I just not happy with the models, and I just gonna ended up giving it to my son for the play toys as a gift. So yes, so I hope that you learned something from here and you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.